Hi there, from Custom Home Builder Solutions, also known as CHS, a job costing, full accounting, and profit management software for the professional home builder. This video will be a continuation in a series of videos about change orders, and in this particular video, we're going to talk about printing the change orders after you've created them, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and click the change orders button here, and I'm going to go ahead and click our demo job that we've been working on. And before we get started printing the change orders, I on my own went and posted something called an unapproved change order for this job. And I'm going to click to look at unapproved. It was for additional landscaping that I entered, an estimated cost of $2,400, etc. And if I drill down on it, you can see that it was for, I just made up something like put palm trees along the driveway, and I marked it up, etc. But it is not approved yet. To approve it, I could click the approve this change order, and then it would be builder approved once I did it. But I'm wanting to show you something in one of our printouts of change orders that will show how much we have out there that's unapproved. So let's close that. The other thing is, let's look at this approved change orders for selected jobs. And you'll notice that we'll be able to print these change orders, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But let's say before you printed it, you decided, I'd like my main title at the top of the change order when I print it to be just a little bit more informative. So if I want to change the main CO title, if I drill down on this, you'll see that we have two lines on this, one for plans it was in our demos and one for frame labor, but that the main CO title is add a sunroom. If I want to change that main CO title, I click this little T icon and you can with the pencil, and you can see that if I hover over it, it says change the main CO title. And let's just change the title to add a sunroom off of kitchen or something like that. So I'll change the main CO title, and you can see that it's now been changed to be a little bit different. You can see if I click the audit button, it's auditing me as far as changes like that, and it's showing that I changed the CO main title. So let's get on with talking about printing. First of all, I click to do approved, and I could drill down just on this change order if I was wanting to print it and then use this print CO button, and I would get this window for printing various types of change orders. But I want to show you that you can skip the step of drilling down and just use the printer icon in this main list of approved change orders, and I'll use the printer icon and I'll get that same little window without drilling down to the change order. Now in our previous video we talked about setting up various change order styles, and we set up a CO with John Doe's signature in our previous tutorial. So let's close that for a second just in case I changed styles and it needs to bring them into this drop down. So let's, before we print these, let's select that style for CO John Doe signature instead of just the CO. So we'll use that one, that style. And let's just start in and see what we've got here. First of all, over here on the right, you'll see there's something about use notes from Legacy CHS. That is for CHS customers that have had some old change orders before we migrated to the web, and maybe they haven't moved their notes and stuff into the rich text for the web, and they just want to go ahead and print a legacy change order. They're really the same as these except for the notes, the rich text notes, so we won't really address those. So the first option we have, there's some different options for printing a change order. The first one is a CO with line item amounts. And let's go ahead and open that. First thing I'd like to talk about before I talk about this style is that all of these will open as in what's called an HTML web report for quick view or print. That's just so you can look at it real quickly if you're wanting to look at it, but if you're wanting to send it out, plus it's a quick view, it's like a rough draft and you can't even really see the signature. So most all change orders, if you're ready to send them out or officially print them for the home buyer, etc., you would export to PDF. And I'm going to open this with my Adobe Acrobat. I've set up my Firefox to give me that kind of box, and we have some other information in our CHS user guide about how you can set your Firefox up so it doesn't just download it to somewhere like your documents, that you could get it open. But now it's open as a PDF. You can see that I can see that John Doe signature and everything now. You know that it's much prettier. But what we mean by one that has the individual line totals, here's the first line, the plan costs, and here's our text notes, which you would have something that was more meaningful. I was just typing some stuff to show you how you can do these bolding and this red color, etc. So there's that line amount. And then the frame labor, there's that line amount. So you can see both line amounts, the total price, etc. of those two. And this, like we said before, when you set up your styles, it's controlled by, you make it have this main body text that will be printing. You can set that main body text that will print up on change orders, and then select your style, different styles and different text, main body text. And I told this style to print change order at the top. And then it has my main change order title right underneath it. That's just the overall about these various lines. So that's the one with the individual unit price, individual line prices. So let's close that. That was with line item amounts. Let's look at one that is just one grand total. Let's go ahead and export it to PDF. And let's make it look a little littler on our screen so we can see it all. You can see that we don't have the individual lines. We have plan costs and we have the frame labor, so we're describing them, but we don't show the individual amounts. We just show one total price for all of this. So you see the different lines, but not with their individual unit amounts. So that's what that one is, about one grand total. So you just see one grand total there. And you still have the same titles and verbiage based on the style that you selected. So that's the one grand total one. Here's the totals grouped by line title. Now if those line titles, if you'd had 2 or 3 lines with the same line title, like plans or something, you're just wanting to group them and total them like that. This one will pretty much, and we won't even go to PDF, will look the same pretty much as what we had. It's grouping, so it's a little bit different order because it's grouping by that line title that you gave it when you set it up. And it would show all the notes for the different lines, but it would just have one total for a line. If for some reason you had 2 or 3 lines with the same line title, they would group together here for their amounts, but we didn't, so you can play with that. This is with the CO lines and no amounts. And so all we've got is the lines, and we don't have any totals here. And that was requested by some builders for some reason. I'm not sure why exactly, but it just doesn't have any amounts. It's just change order and all the verbiage for the change order. Maybe they're just wanting to give some printout about something that's going to change, but they're not really charging them for it. So that's what that is. Now this one is the last one, and it says home buyer online will see this change order. So if they go online and they print the change order, they're going to see this one with the effects on the contract price. And I'm going to go ahead and export this one to PDF. And we'll take a look at it. Let's make it a little bit smaller to look at a little better. It has your line item amounts, the total with price. So that part right there looks the same as that one with the line item amounts. But if you go down here, I'm causing a second page and might want to come up here and reduce this space a little bit in my style so that maybe I don't get that. It just depends, on how many lines you have, etc., as far as where this will land. But what I'd like to show you is that our original contract price was this. This is actually a little more meaningful on a fixed contract rather than a cost plus, but you'd get the idea of what they're going to see down here. There's plus builder approved change orders, not including this change order. So there's the revised price before this change order. Then there's the amount of this change order. Then the revised contract price including this change order. And what I showed you when I started this video is that I have one unapproved change order for $3,000. So that information is here. It's just sort of like these are unapproved. They may or may not happen, but this will show you the effect of if all the unapproved change orders also happen. So that's what that information is about, the effect on the contract price. Like I said, on a cost plus, you may not even be doing this quite the same way or wanting to do that one that you send to them with the contract prices. You need to think about that just a little bit more on that, because on cost plus jobs it's just all costs plus a markup or plus a builder's fee, and so change orders in some ways become almost a little bit meaningless other than having a trail of what they are changing and why. The ending amount that they will pay is more than what you originally budgeted, so it gives you a good trail of the change orders. But that's how you print change orders. You can, of course, always, when you open a PDF, save that change order to, well, let me show you one thing here. Let's just do this first one here. On my, when I export to PDF and I open it in a regular Adobe Acrobat Reader, which is what most people have, I have an email icon up here, this little email, so I could send it as an email and this would be attached. So your PDF reader will have controls like that. Sometimes if you right click you can see some things that you might use. It depends on your reader what you have when you right click. I have an advanced one that gives me tools that allows me to actually edit some of this stuff if I want. So when I do that, I can just take over and do content editing and edit text, and who knows what I might want to edit. But maybe I don't like this change order word, or I don't like something that is here. See how all these are outlined, and if I start doing stuff, I'm adding verbiage in here. I've added X's in there in the middle of that, etc. So when I close it, it's going to ask if I want to save it, which is no. But anyway, the other icon that you have when you export to PDF is the saving. And usually, I actually just usually use File, Save As, and I go somewhere on my computer, some folder on my computer on the C drive, etc., and save it. But I'm not going to save this one. But there's various ways you can have it and then go keep it on your own computer. You could just print it from here, or you can email it from your PDF reader, etc. So that's it on printing change orders. Be sure you get your style set up how you like them and then do your printing. And the style setup was in the very previous video. Thank you for watching.